Is Ilia Topuria showing his insecurities as a champion? Here he says, without the BMF belt, I don't want him at all. Holloway says that's not a very BMF way to say it. A BMF wouldn't say, I'm not going to fight this guy unless. That's kind of un-BMF. 100% facts by Max Holloway. And the reason why I bring up insecurity is because, bro, you're the UFC champion. The BMF belt was considered a joke. It wasn't like, a lot of people were like, oh, the BMF again. A lot of people were hating on the BMF belt. But the BMF belt is slowly becoming the must-see, holy shit moment belt. And Max Holloway doing what he did against Justin Gaethje, resurging his career, entering new life. A lot of people counted him out after losing to Volkanovski 3 times. Where does he go from here? Well, I'll tell you what, he's the motherfucking BMF belt holder. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Max Holloway right now after what he just did to Justin Gaethje. His stock is up. And I wouldn't be surprised if the BMF belt had more people in line to hit that pay-per-view button than the regular UFC belt in some cases, right? I mean, depends on who's holding it. Maybe if Ilia's holding it, maybe Max could do more. Let's say you do UFC 305, Max Holloway versus, leave in the comment section below, another BMF title contender. And then you do Ilia Topuria versus someone else at UFC 306. I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if the BMF title did more pay-per-view buys against his UFC featherweight championship. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, let's say he does pick Brian Ortega like he threatened to in this post here. I decide who, when, and where. If you don't like the terms, I'm sure Ortega will oblige. This is Ilia Topuria on his social media. You know what I mean? This is very un-BMF, like Max Holloway was saying. Max Holloway is 100% correct. BMFs don't say, I decide who, when, and where. The fans decide who, when, and where. The fans do. And if the UFC asks you to fight someone like a Max Holloway, the guy that the fans want to see fight for the title next, you have to say yes. And if you don't say yes, if you don't say yes for whatever reason, if you want to try to flex your championship muscles now and pick Ortega instead, you're not the BMF. You're not that guy, and you're not in that category. And that's okay. You're in the UFC champion category, arguably the more valuable category, right? But Max Holloway is making that belt something else. That belt being around Max Holloway's waist is making it very legitimate, because this is a former champion. And this is a guy who is, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the all-time greats, you know what I'm saying? This is a guy who made his name already. He's not a Jorge Masvidal who, and respect to Jorge Masvidal, but he's not a Jorge Masvidal who never really got that close to the gold, and had to settle for silver. Max Holloway's not settling for silver here with the BMF. He's had gold before. You get me? And those fights against Volkanovski that Ilia's bringing up, those fights were razor-thin close, the first two. I had Max Holloway winning, and a lot of other people did too, but that's ancient history at this point. Max Holloway is making the BMF belt legitimate, and I'm questioning if we are going to start seeing more insecurities from Ilia Topuria about it, because he's validating it. What he should be doing is acting as though it's nothing. It's a garbage belt. It's a toy belt. It's a belt they just made up 2-3 years ago. You get what I'm saying? Which a lot of people looked at it like. But Max Holloway having that belt is legitimizing it, man. I'm telling you. And even Ilia, when that camera panned towards him, he looked like he saw a ghost. You know, he was in astonishment. He was amazed. You could argue he became a fan again. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, bro, it's tough. I wouldn't be surprised if Ilia would rather be BMF champion than UFC champion, you know? How many people? A lot of people were talking about Ilia Topuria's win because it was over Volkanovski. But his win did not go nearly as viral as Max Holloway's did. Max Holloway's knockout went viral. And that's a clip that will be shown forever, as will Ilia's. But that's a clip that's in a different category. That's a clip that's up there with Masvidal, Ben Askren, knee. You get what I'm saying? In terms of iconic clips that will be. So that's pretty much all I got on this one. I'm calling it now. that BMF title around Max Holloway's waist is going to mean a lot more. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you agree, disagree, does not matter. Just join the discussion. Follow for more. Leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. And thank you. You are all appreciated.